Hello, hello, hello. It's another coffee time, yada, 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 blah, 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 news, blah, blah. I don't know what I'm doing because I've just opened the Daily Mail website, so you don't have to. What have we got here? Yes, schools are on strike tomorrow. List of schools closing in England and Wales because teacher strikes will walk out set to up to 4.5 million pupils. Our kids are working from home tomorrow, so yay, strikes. Yay. Woo. Maybe I'll go on strike. No one will notice. Paper Chase, the high street stationery company thing, are they still going? He asked for himself. Have gone into administration after failing to find a buyer. Now, I'm shocked because I didn't even know they were still going. Here is a stock image of said shop, Paper Chase. They sell, stationery, posters and shit like that. I think they're expensive. Just go on Amazon. Just get cards off Amazon. I mean, this isn't news. This isn't. Is this news? I don't know. What else have we got? Oh, we've got Neighbours from Hell dispute. We're going to Gary and Kerry Hamblin. This is in Suffolk. Got to Suffolk. Yeah, a couple are at war with their monstrous millionaire neighbours who they claim have boxed in their £600,000 dream home with a 6-foot fence that prevents them, they say, from using their front door. And they reckon that the construction has wiped £100,000 off the value of their home. So it's okay. This is their dream home. Okay. I don't know what I'm looking at. Where's the fence? Oh, these are the people making the claim, Gary and Kerry Hamblin. But I need pictures. I need actual pictures of the fence. This isn't working for me. There's no pictures. Daily Mail. Come on, you've got to help me out. Got to help me out with here, because without the pictures, I'm just saying words, and people like words. They allege that the fence blocks access from their stables to the field, cuts off views across the field, and makes the ground floor of their house dark. Where's the 6-foot fence, though? Meanwhile, the Wakeleys allege that the Hamlins have been using the door unlawfully to trespass on their driveway whilst going between their cottage and the field, and they put up the fence to stop them. So we've got a right-of-way issue. This squabble began in 2016, a year after the Hamlins moved into Garden Cottage. They've got a quarter of an acre of gardens. There you go. Friction rose between the families, whose £1 million Tills Farm cottage lies on the same former farm as the Hamlins, grew upset by the plans neighbours had to make changes to their property. And they fell out. They said the Hamlins had inherited a right-of-way access to their field, but they were forbidden from going to the cottage the same way under the right-of-way, but had been permitted to cross the track by their neighbours whilst relations were friendly. So, yeah. How much does it cost them? It's cost them a blooming fortune. Has it been decided yet? The judge has reserved his ruling on the case at the end of a day-long hearing, and will give his decision at a later date. I want to know how much money they've spent, because if it's been rumbling since 2016, that's some major money. Good news, everybody. Britain faces being the only G7 country in recession this year, with even Russia doing better. This is the IMF. Don't get me started on this. Here we are. Oh, it's scary. Oh, look at that. What is 0.6 anyway? I mean, is It's just, I mean, Germany is supposed to be really, I mean, they're only up 0.1. But yeah, Japan, Canada, US, they're all storming ahead. Look, we live in a time where we're told to cut carbon emissions and to save the dolphins from the plastic. Yet our whole economic system is based on constant and infinite growth, which is impossible when we live on a planet of finite resources. One day, this is all going to collapse. There cannot be infinite growth. And I think cooling of growth, maybe growth of I don't know, 0 whatever percent is probably a better thing. I don't think we can have constant GDP growth without, I don't know, there being a massive collapse one day along the line. But hey, I'm not an economist, no. But COVID, let's blame it on COVID. COVID. I'm sure everything will be fine. Nothing to do with Liz Truss and crazy Kwarteng doing what they did in September. God, it seems like a year ago now. But hey, it's the economy. Nobody mentioned Brexit because it's like the anniversary, and a lot of the Remainers are a bit touchy. They're a bit touchy about Brexit, and they don't like it that I voted leave. They don't like it. But hey, that's how it goes. If you don't like how I vote, don't let me vote. And then that wouldn't be democracy, would it? That wouldn't be democracy. But remember, we're never going back. We're never going back. Even if you get the referendum and it goes your way, the EU are going to put in so many conditions that we're never going back, unless the EU doesn't put in those conditions, like dropping the pound and having an elected second chamber. If they don't do that, then that means we're really important, and then we shouldn't go back because we're really important. We could hold them to ransom. But hey, EU, freedom of movement, just so rock bands can travel Europe to sell some t-shirts. Remember, there are something like 5.8 million businesses in the UK. And out of that, around 200,000 actually actively trade with the EU. That's it. Tiny amount. Tiddling amount. Just so some man in Kent can sell wine and cheese to the French. Think about that. Good news, everybody. Liz Truss might be plotting a political comeback. I ain't going to talk about that anymore. But don't worry, grocery price inflation hits a record 16.7%. It's probably Brexit. What do you reckon? Yeah, and families are facing an extra £788 on their annual food shopping bill. Have you noticed prices never go down though, do they? Never go down. Meanwhile, UK gets its worst ever score in the Global Corruption Report. That's not bad, is it? It's good to see we come on top of the list. It's good to be on the top. It's always good to be top of the list. Apparently, the report ranks countries on a scale from highly corrupt to very clean. Denmark is seen as least corrupt with 90 points, with Somalia ranked worse with 12 points. So where are we then on this corruption percentage index? They're making this up. This comes from the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index. I've never heard of it. Where is that? Where's our rank then? I can't find it. We dropped 5 points to 73. Its lowest ever score. They said that we could get. They said we could get higher if they slipped him a tenner. Yeah, there you go. That was a joke. I don't think it's all right though. I don't think anyone noticed. Oh God, what are we doing? This is boring. It's so boring. Meanwhile, I don't know if you've been following this. This is quite bizarre. But do you remember? Prince Andrew? Am I allowed to talk about Prince Andrew? I know some people get a bit upset when I mention Prince Andrew and him knocking around with Jeffrey Epstein. This is a follow-up to. So I'm waiting for pages to load, and I'm looking for the. It was on the Daily Telegraph's front page. I'm trying to find the. Just bear with me. I can't find the picture. Anyway, I'm gonna find it. Daily Telegraph. Prince Andrew. Bath. Someone's already been searching for it. Yeah, this is the most. I should have done this. This is the most bizarre thing ever. I'm going to get there. This is what happens when you don't prepare. But anyway, Ian Maxwell, who's the brother of Ghislaine Maxwell, son of Robert Maxwell, he was on the radio claiming that this picture that's doing the rounds of the bath at the former home of his sister was too small for Andy and Virginia Guthrie to do the horizontal pogo. He said the girl had her backs to the taps. It's hard. It's ludicrous to think that anyone, let alone a prince of the realm, knowingly, allegedly, that other people in the house are going to have this fantastical arrangement in this tiny room. And this is the picture that they. This is the thing of comedy, right? This is the comedy. The bath mat measures 1,359 millimeters by 380 millimeters, so it's quite a squeeze. But yeah, this is the picture that they mocked up. I mean, I don't know. I think you could. I think you could do it. I think you could do it in that tub. I'll tell you, they need Robin Asquith. He's an expert. If you've seen those Confessions films, I reckon he could get his leg over in a tub that size. So, Randy Andy, I don't know, maybe. But you got to remember, Guthrie was part of Epstein's clique. Just saying. But yeah, that's how they're going to get Prince Andrew off. The bath was too small. Now, if you see Virginia Guthrie now, this is her first time in public for a year, I reckon. This is her recently. If you saw her now, here she is. You'd say, oh yeah, definitely, that bath's definitely too small. Oh, I'm terrible, aren't I? Take him to court. Prosecute. Let's see this in court. Meanwhile, Matt Hancock, Anne's face arse, remember? He got a right grilling. Got a right rollicking on Good Morning Britain. Yeah, because what's her name? Kate Garraway grilled him because her husband Derek has been ruined by the COVID, and she grilled him. Yeah, she gave him a good old time on about why I couldn't see him in hospital and this, that and the other. And Hancock squirmed because he thought by going on I'm a Celebrity that it was going to get him off the hook, that it was the rehabilitation of Matt Hancock. But he couldn't help him. He fell in love. You've got to remember that. He fell in love. That's why he broke the rules. He fell in love. But he was promoting his pandemic diaries, the book he's got out, and he said that all royalties are going to NHS, which is nice. I think he only donated 3% of his £320,000 fee from I'm a Celebrity to charity. Yeah, only 3%. I don't even. What's the maths? Is it 10 grand? Is that about right? That sounds about right. 10 grand. Oh yeah, don't ask me anything. Meanwhile, Rupert Grint, he's that bad actor, the ginger one from Harry Potter, right? he's kind of. Everyone asked him why he didn't go to Robbie Coltrane's funeral. Here's Grint. He's ginger. Yeah, unfortunately, the late great Robbie Coltrane died in October last year, and Grint didn't go to his funeral. Now everyone was saying, well, it's the whole trans row because Robbie Coltrane was in favour of J.K. Rowling and Grint isn't because he's young and an idiot. But Grint said, no, it's because I didn't really know him. I didn't know him. Okay. I don't know. I think he's. I think he's lying. Meanwhile, Nicola Sturgeon, wee Jimmy Cranky herself. There was a great interview yesterday on. I think it was on Channel 4. And she was asked, about her policy on trans. We're back to trans again, on trans prisoners. And it is I'd love to play it here, but copyright and clips and things. But it's a case of her saying, well, are trans women? And she's going, well, no, and yeah, no, yeah, but no, but yeah, but no, but. And it was hilarious because the journalist involved just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And they're tying themselves in knots over this, because this is what happens when you bring in, legislation without consulting the public. Because no one consulted us about it, And when you bring in legislation where there's no actual common sense, when it's on the whim of ideologues, But hey, it could be the end of her career. It could be. I like to think so, but you never know. She's a bit like worms. You can't always get rid of them, can you? Can't get rid of them. Or is that just me? A parasitic worm. Oh dear. Where are we? Anyway, this is a good one. There's a strike. There's a strike tomorrow. I don't know who's it striking. Is it the teachers? Well, anyway, apparently the National Education Union tweeted encouraging children to make snack boxes for their teachers who are striking. Yay! Politicise the kids. Oh dear. Oh dear. Where are the snootiest towns in the UK? Have we got a list? Here we go. Ilfracombe in North Devon. I think we drove through there. Did we drive through there, missus? I think we did. It's where all the old people go to die, isn't it? Morpeth in Northumberland. Don't think we've been there. Apparently that's pretty stuck up. Harpenden in Hertfordshire. That's not too far away from us. Apparently described as an upmarket enclave beloved by London commuters. Don't like it. Harrogate. I don't quite like the look of Harrogate. It looks quite nice. I've seen some walkarounds on YouTube of Harrogate. Looks quite picturesque. Leon C, you having a laugh? Are you having a laugh? One reviewer claims Leon C thinks it's a glass of champagne when really it's a bucket of piss. That's not very nice, is it? It's part of Southend, isn't it, really? But there you go. That's top 5 places. Meanwhile, BBC journalists are voting on taking industrial action over the corporation's plans to cut local radio services. Nothing to do with them having their lunches stolen from the fridge. Yeah. What's happened there? So what else have we got? Just trying to find another. It's all pretty miserable stories, I'm afraid. Guy Verhofstadt. Who remembers him? Do you remember him? Here he is. Remember, he used to. He's a Belgian Prime Minister, and a big knob in the EU. Do you remember him? He loves to drive from Brussels down to the south of Italy, where his vineyard is, in his vintage car. Save the planet. But he claims if the UK had remained in the EU, that Putin wouldn't have invaded Ukraine. Yeah. Apparently, he was speaking on LBC radio. He said that Putin would never have invaded. That if it was, he said maybe that without Brexit, maybe there was no invasion. I want whatever he's smoking. See, this is what he posted. See, look. I have a dream. Ukraine and Britain joining the EU in the next 5 years. Well, the Ukraine is well within there. That's what they want, but we voted no, didn't we? We voted no. Oh, and here's a thing about regret. There's this thing called regret, that you regret voting to leave. Least regretful, most regretful. That. Wow. Oh my God. Who did they ask? This is Unheard that have run this poll. Yeah, all right. I wonder what way they lean. Do 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 do. La 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 la. This is a good story. This is Gemma Allbrow from Seaford in East Sussex. She found a silver ring 34 years ago. Here it is. There she is posing with it. There she found a ring in a box at her parents' jewellery store. Right? 34 years ago. Had a mysterious name engraved on the ring. So, whilst having a look through social media, she was having a nosy, and she came across somebody with the same surname and decided to get in touch with them. And yeah, it was a family match. She actually found a descendant of the person who owned the ring. The ring dates back to the Victorian age and belonged to the Hand family, and was a memorial ring for one Walter Hand and his son Vincent. And they died within 2 months of each other of tuberculosis. And yeah, she has. Here's a closer look at the ring, and the ring has now been restored to its rightful owner. So yeah, what an amazing story. A happy ending there. Meanwhile, Trumpy, you remember Donald Trump? He's suing Watergate journalist Bob Woodward and the publisher Simon & Schuster for $50 million. Here he is, he's going, 50 million. It's going to be a big claim. Why? Why is he suing them? Well, apparently he claims that they've published an audio book called Trump Tapes, and he claims that he has copyright ownership because they were based on interviews that he'd been given. God, it was it was quite a few years back, wasn't it? Yeah, it was back in 2018. Some of the interviews were recorded, and yeah, they'd been published separately. And so Trumpy says no, Trumpy says no. So, I wonder if Trumpy will win. Have we done enough damage yet? I think we're getting there. I did have some in my... This is a weird story, he says. I'm getting you all juiced up because I love it when I click on a story and the Daily Mail website just goes, come on Daily Mail, you can do it. Doesn't want to know. Let's try again. How very strange. Because it's maybe they may have taken it down. I think they've taken the story down. That's why it's not coming up. Oh no, it's come up now. God, blimey, it took ages. This is the story of Sharaban K, and this is her, right? And she's been arrested. Why? Because she has been arrested, right, of murdering Khadija. And these are both bloggers, apparently. And she was stabbed 50 times, right? But it gets murky, right? Right, because she tracked her down using social media, right, to the German city of Ingolstadt. She tracked her down. And the 23-year-old, I reckon, killed her, right? And disfigured her face, right? In a ploy to make it look like she was the one who'd been murdered. Yeah, she was trying to fake her own death, I reckon. German police officers initially identified the body as Sharaban K, the suspect. But then, once they did the autopsy, they realised who it was. So yeah, now prosecutors believe that it was an attempt to fake her own death and go into hiding because of a family dispute. Oh, murky. Who'd have thought? God, that's real Tales of the Unexpected type stuff, eh? Yep, they were arrested last Friday and face life in prison if convicted. We'll have to keep an eye on that story, but that's a bit of a murky one, isn't it? Yeah. Meanwhile, we've got an update on Helen Hewlett. I don't know if you remember her. She was the one from... Lunch is ready. She was the one who was accused of hiring a hitman. Yep. So anyway, she had a price list including $16,000 for arson attack and £1,600 for a simple beating, the court heard. Yes, she's accused of paying more than £22,000 in Bitcoin on a site called Online Killers Market as a deposit to kill Mr. Belton, who rejected her advances. Here he is. He's quite a catch. There you go. Who wouldn't? Whoa. Yeah, so there we go. And the mother of 5 was arrested after police linked the dark web payments to her. Remember, Bitcoin, you might think it's anonymous, but it isn't. But yeah, police pretend to be her logged into her account and cancelled the hitman order. So we've got more details. It's pretty murky, isn't it? And they'd met at the Linda McCartney Vegetarian Food Factory in Fakenham in Norfolk. Yeah, the court heard she used 2 loans of £12,000, an overdraft, and her savings to pay £20,000 in 35 transactions. Yeah, in Bitcoin. Transferred it to Bitcoin to pay it. And she wanted the hitman to make it look like it was an accident. Oh, but she denies the charges of stalking and soliciting murder. The trial continues. Keep an eye on that one. Yeah, it's a pretty good one, that. And I've got to finish because it's dinner time. I'll have to save that one for tomorrow. But we're going to go for an animal story. This is this is an anteater, right? And it's confused people on the internet. This clip was shared on Twitter, and people have just been losing their minds over it, right? And I'll show it to you. Look, they're losing their minds because they think it's got two heads. It hasn't. Its left leg is just marked. Look, it's got some markings on it. Its head is there, and that's its leg. It hasn't got two. It's in a zoo. You can tell because there's glass and someone's legs are reflected. But what I like is look at the back legs. It looks like he's wearing little shoes. Look, and that is today's animal story, and we'll end it there because the missus says it's time for lunch. It's gone past 1 o'clock. So I'll have a look to see if there's anybody in the chatty room. Let's see. Blimey, 14. That's enough for a party, that is. Scott's in. He says, good morning from hi, hi, ho. He says, 12 of us will notice if you go on strike. Thomas is in. He says, hi. Hi, Thomas. Enter says, do you collect Peter Hamill solo material? Yes, I do. I have most of his stuff on vinyl. Thomas says, that reminds me, I know Brexit has been crap, but I really don't want to rejoin the EU. It's fine, everything's fine. Zeb says, Peter Hamill sold his fee catalogue to Cherry Red Records recently. Did he? Well, everyone's selling up because, you know, my catalogue is available. 20 quid, use notes, send it to the usual address. Thomas says, I think Alberton was the old people to die. Everywhere is. Because there's a lot of old people. Run Scoots in. He says, that's democracy for you. Some you win, some you lose. Yeah, been voting Labour all my life. There you go. Andrew's in. He says, love Townsend Expected. Ding, 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 ding. I was going to do a mock-up of that with me dancing for a review of that band, but it never happened because, you know. But yeah, it was going to be Townsend Unexpected with me dancing, you know, with the green screen. You'd have loved it. No, she won't make you a sandwich because we're having Cornish pasty for dinner today for lunch. Bitcoin for a hitman, yeah, don't give the missus any ideas. And G-Man's in, he says, how do? That was the news. I've got a hot Cornish pasty waiting for me. I think it's Ginsters. Please forgive me. And we'll do this all again soon. This was the last one of January. Hooray! We got January out of the way. Tomorrow it's February. And so we begin a month-long celebration of my birth. Send money. And that's tomorrow. Have a good one. That was the news. Killing the channel. One video at a time. You know you've got to drink it up.